We're going to look at today how to win or be successful at anything you do. I talk to a lot of real estate agents and other business people, and they always say, I work hard, I do this, I do that, but I don't see any traction. I can't go anywhere. I'm not seeing anything to get me anywhere. So we're going to look at how to do that, how to overcome that issue you may have, and how to get over any frustration you might be feeling like I'm stalled, I need to get things moving. We're going to talk about the 7 things. I might throw in an extra number 8 for a little bonus at the end, but it's going to be the 7 major things that are going to push you to get you useful. If you set yourself and do it, this is going to be how you're going to be successful at anything. The first one is to set goals. Now, when you set goals, you need to be very specific in your goals. So you might want to say, oh, I want to make, I don't know, like one of my goals is to buy a sailboat. I might want to buy a sailboat and be able to sail around and check it out. So to buy a sailboat, my goal then is to make so much income so I can buy a sailboat. So the first thing I write down on my paper is buy a sailboat, or if I have 2 closings a month, for example, if we put it into the real estate world. So say I want 2 closings a month. So I put down 2 closings a month. Are those buyers? Are those sellers? Are they referrals? Where are you going to get these from? And then you have to start breaking down your goals. Say I want to work with buyers. What type of buyers? I want to work with first-time home buyers. Okay, a lot of them might be renting, so I might want to focus on converting renter to buyers. Things like that is what you want to start thinking about for your goals and breaking them down. So I know every day if I don't make so much calls, say 2 to 3 hours a day of my prospecting calls to my advertised rental clients out there, then I'm not going to meet those goals. I'm not going to hit it, so I'm not going to get my 2 to 3 closings because I didn't put in the time. So the goals are very important. It gives you a structure, an outline of what you can do. The next thing is to be competitive. So number 2, be competitive. That means you should not be willing like, I did okay. I hear a lot of agents, a lot of people when I'm showing homes even like, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. That's a very basic mindset. You need to think, I'm going to be competitive. I'm going to beat everyone else. And the main thing, if you're worried about that, like I'm not really like that, think then, how can I beat myself? What did I do last month? What did I do last year? What did I do last quarter? What can I do to do better than what I did before to show myself as being competitive? And you always want to strive. So again, if your goal is 2 to 3 closings a month, if you base your other one on number step 1, and you just had 3 closings the last 3 months, you might want to be at 5 closings a month now. You want to raise yourself up to be more competitive. So think about that, and that's where you're going to really push yourself. Is to I got to do better. I got to do better. I got to beat them. Find someone in your industry, your category, wherever part of your life you're working on, and say they are the best that I know. They are awesome. They're beating everyone else. I'm going to beat them, and then try to beat them. If you don't make it, great. You've probably become a lot better than you were. But don't pick someone who's only doing 1 deal a month and you want to try to beat them because you probably already are. So think about things like that. The third thing of how to win at anything or be very successful is that winners and losers spill into all category of their life in person, and they are highly disciplined in structure. What that means, okay, so I'll say it again. Winners and losers spill over into all categories of their life. And then when you meet them in person, they're highly disciplined and structured. So what that means again is if you're going to be very successful and you're going to work, it's going to be in every part of your life. I'm not going to, if my wife gets mad at me, I'm not going to pack up and leave. I'm going to work it out. I'm going to be a winner in my marriage. I'm going to be a winner in my family relationships. I'm going to be a winner with my friends. If something happens to my friend and they need something, I go help take care of them. I don't just say, well, sorry, that's with you. Good luck. I'll keep you in my prayers. And I hear that all the time. I'll keep you in my prayers. Well, great. That's awesome. And God is there for us, of course. But at the same time, God expects you to pray like everything depends on Him, and then work like everything depends on you. So God is there to help as long as we put in the work. So again, this is going to spill into everything. So you need to be highly disciplined and structured, which is the second part of this, number 3. So if you're highly disciplined and structured, this is going to make it so that you can be so when you get up in the morning, when do you go to work? I asked a lot of agents that when I sit down for one-on-one to help them understand things. I'm like, when do you go to work? What does your day start? And a lot of them are like, well, whenever I get up. Are you up at 5 o'clock in the morning? Are you up at 6? Do you work out before? Do you take time to meditate in the morning? Whatever your kind of zone thing is to help you do better, do you do that? Do you take that? Do you make it work? Is that something that you focus on and you do? I don't know. You're going to have to answer that question yourself. What's happening? How are we doing it? What can I do to make this work? Remember, you're highly disciplined and structured. For example, every day I get up at whenever I'm done, I'm at my computer. Like today, it's before 8 o'clock, and I'm already recording videos. You need to be at your computer by 8, 9. You know what you start. You know when you end. You know when it's family time. Everything is very structured. The next thing, number 4, is impulse control. You have to be able to control yourself. So many people are like, well, it's Friday. I'm going to go get a drink. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And then by the end of the day, they started, great ideas, great intentions. They had a calendar. They're ready to go. They prioritized, and then boom, there. What happens? Now they spent the whole day running around, hanging out with friends, playing video games, whatever is going to happen to them. You need to be doing impulse control. Control yourself. A good person that I know, one of the people I watch online, the coaches, they always say, if you're not where you want to be, and then in the evening, if you're spending 4 or 5 hours sitting around watching Netflix together with your family, have your computer there. Be posting, be doing things, be updating. You should not be wasting all of your time letting your mind just fry when you have time to go through and push. Of course, you can't work 24/7. That's common sense. But you can push yourself in the beginning. A lot of really successful people use that impulse control to push really hard. You might say, I don't want to do this today. I'm bored. Who cares? Get up and do it. Get off your butt. Make it happen. All right? You're going to have to think like that. How can I make this happen? How can I make it work? You have to have impulse control. The next one is number 5 is a singularity of focus. So again, singularity of focus, which means you need to be single-minded. So if I'm going to say, for example, this example we're using, I'm going to get 2 closings a month, right? So if I focus on these 2 closings a month, and I'm like, I am going to do this crap, and that's all it is. I'm going to do it. I'm going to focus my mind on this to get 2 closings per month. And I'm going to push hard on this. I'm going to push fast. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep working. If it's, end of the month and I haven't had any closings, holy cow, next month I better be able to hit 4. I better have done enough this month to push me over into next month. You need to be very focused on what you're doing. You have a goal. That's why we talked about setting goals beginning. You have that goal. You focus on that goal and nothing else. You push yourself. You be very singular minded. Like, this is what I'm going to do. Get out of my way. Anything comes in your way, you just blast through it and keep going. You have to be focused very much like that. Number 6 is prioritize overtime management. Okay, so a lot of times, as I was saying, you don't want to work 50 hours a week or a million. Maybe you do. I'm a 1099. I work in real estate and such. I work a lot of hours sometimes. So if you work a lot of hours, that's okay. But you need to prioritize, be priority overtime management minded. You need to prioritize your overtime. So think, if I'm going to be working, I work 10 hours today and I have a couple more things to do. Am I really prioritizing what I'm doing? There's a lot of books out there like the 3-hour work week or the 3-hour work day, all that kind of stuff, where it says if you're very focused and you schedule, you don't need to work 10 hours a day. So if you're working 10 to 12 hours a day on your business, maybe you're not prioritizing the things that need to be done. So one of the things I like to do that works really good is in the morning, or then I do it the night before, which is even better. You should do it the night before. I pull out my phone. I have a task list on my phone, and I think, well, I look at my calendar, of course, because I have my goals on my calendar. I say, what's happening to me? What do I need to do? What are my top things I need to do? And I make a list. And then whatever I can think that I need to do the next day is in that list. After that, I prioritize. Again, we're prioritizing our time management, our overtime management. I prioritize the list with 1, 2, 3, etc. When I wake up in the morning and everything is good, I do my morning, exercise, whatever you want to do, your morning meditations, and then I'm ready to go to work. So I'm like, okay, I need to prioritize this list and make it work. And then I go to work and I do it. And then I start with number 1 and I work as hard and as strong as I can to get number 1 done. Once I'm done with number 1, I'm on number 2, and then number 3, and then number 4. And then if I get everything done and it's only 3 or 4 o'clock, that's great. I review back, what did I do? What can I do better? And then I keep going on with the rest to get whatever else I need done that day. And if you're done that day and everything is where you want it to be, great. Maybe I need to be shooting for 4 or 5 closings a month if I've finished so quick and so easy earlier because I'm prioritized. Things will start to become easier. It's hard at first. The more you do it, the better things are going to do. And then number 7 is the people who win at anything, who are very successful. They work on things that create money and meaning. Let me say that again without stumbling. They work on things that create money and meaning. So what that means for us is that they're going to work on things that are going to help them make money and meaning. So for example, If I do enjoy playing video games sometimes. So if I want to play a video game, that's not going to help me create money or meaning. I just wasted my time. So if I spend an hour playing a video game, I better have that hour blocked off on my calendar on other things that I better be doing okay where I can do that. Otherwise, I just wasted an hour of my time where I could have been out there making money and doing things. So you want to prioritize, of course, things that create money and meaning. So if you're not calling for 3 hours a day and doing your prospecting, and that's the way that you're doing your conversions, then you're not prioritizing that. If you work with new homes and you're out there doing videos and that's how you get all your leads, that's what you're going to be prioritizing. That's going to be your money and meaning. You need to be thinking, what can I do that's going to prioritize? A lot of people say you need to prioritize your money making activities is the same thing in that step. So you really need to work hard. What am I doing? So, and teach a lot when I do my trainings. A lot of people, I call them what's called your pillars of business. A lot of people, when they start working hard and getting good in real estate, they're going to find out that, man, I'm really good at this. I'm really good at that. They're going to kind of find their niche naturally. Once you find your niche naturally and you start kicking butt and making money on it, you want to prioritize your time to work in that niche. That's how it's going to be. You're going to be able to focus on that niche, prioritize your time in it, and then that's your money making activity. Because most people have one or two things, or most people have one major, want to call it your pillar, of course, your pillar of business. One major pillar that brings 80 to 90% of their business as real estate agents and other people who run companies. Find out what your pillar is, and then you work the heck out of that pillar, because that's the thing that's going to give you your best income, as we talked about on step number 6. I'm sorry, the one before, when you're going to be doing your focus and you're going to work on things that create money and meaning. Now, the extra one I'm just going to give you is step number 8. If you really want to push yourself, this is that winners are athlete minded, which means this should be something you shouldn't look at it like, oh, this is a job, this is this, this is that. If you talk to athletes and professional athletes, their whole life is like they're athlete minded. Everything they do, they get up, they exercise, they keep themselves in shape. It's really hard to be successful if your body's in such bad shape, if you're so overweight, if you're doing stuff like that. A lot of people are laughing and say, Andrew, you're pretty chubby. I sure am. I'm walking every day. I'm trying to work things like that. So I have that as one of my priorities now, to be more athlete minded. When I was in the military, I used to outrun my whole unit and be crazy fast and everything. So I got to work on getting back to that. Of course, it doesn't happen overnight. But a lot of people you talk to, I have a good friend of mine who's a real estate agent. In the last 2 years, he was walking every morning, 4 miles a morning, watching his diet, being careful. Now he's in great shape. He's lost like 40 pounds. Does amazing. Looks really good. Takes good care of himself. He's becoming athlete minded. And because of that, he has more energy. He's able to work harder and he's able to get better in his business and to be able to focus. These things are very important to do. And if you have this kind of set like that, then you'll be able to follow along and do it. So these 8 steps that I talked about, again, set goals, be competitive. That's number 1 is set goals. 2 is competitive. Number 3, winners and losers spill into all categories of life and person, and they're highly disciplined and motivated. That's a long one. Number 4 is impulse control. Number 5, they have a singularity of focus. Number 6, prioritize overtime management. Easier for me to say, I know. Number 7, work on things that create money and meaning. And number 8, the extra one I gave you, is winners are athlete minded. These are, of course, each of these things you're going to have to work at. It won't happen overnight. So don't get frustrated if you're like, I'm trying to do this. I have really bad impulse control, for example. I want to run around and do this, and I'm all over the place. A lot of people have ADHD. If you have all those things, if that's you, that's fine. Go ahead, get rid of those things, move forward, work on doing that. It might not happen overnight, but if you start working and you do a little bit better every day, if you read the book Atomic Habits, they talk about doing 1% better every day in your habits. So if you're doing 1% better every day in your habits, you'll turn around at the end of the year and you're 365% better by doing 1% better. And if you don't get it every day, who cares? Maybe you're only 50% better for the year. That's amazing. Work on getting better every day at one of those topics. And it's going to really push you, help you do well, and help you succeed. Hopefully that was useful. Talk to you soon.